Okay, so Mark was nice enough to, well, Mark, do you want to start the meeting? Do you have to call it to order?
Yeah, somebody
Or
from the
someone?
planning commission could call the meeting to order.
Okay. Thank you.
Want to do it old timer?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, call the meeting to order. Roll.
Roll. Lance Van Dam, absent. Amy Jurgens, walking in the door.
Okay.
Mark Tonker's good.
Oh, good.
Nate Palmer.
Here.
Carol Christopher.
Here.
Dale Crawley.
Here.
Caleb, myself. We have Mark Belson.
Sorry, Caleb.
No, you're good. I got you.
Right on time. I rang this in, sir.
You missed the opening ceremony,
Were they big?
Mark opened the meeting, so I missed
Did
out.
Mark, like, do an interpretive dance or anything?
Mark D.
Mark beat
Not
it.
Mark B.
Did I miss it?
No.
All right.
Thank you for coming. And I was just gonna quickly go through the process really quick and the purpose. We could go to the next slide if you want to. Thank you, Mark, for putting this information up. So the purpose of the comprehensive plan is to guide the physical, social, and economic development of the village. Sorry, it says town there. Update the plan in accordance with Wisconsin statutes, and this is required every 10 years. And the last time your plan was adopted was in 2006, so we're about 10 years behind. But that's okay, this is wonderful that we're doing it now. We're gonna update the community information, of course, analyze the demographic trends, gather public input, and review ordinances consistent with the comprehensive plan and plan for the future. And the next slide tells us our project schedule. And basically, this past fall and winter, we developed a project schedule, adopted the public participation plan, launched the project webpage, administered the survey, and facilitated the public vision session. We also summarized the public participation at the December board meeting. And this evening is the first of our chapter review meetings. And this is one of 7 that we have planned over the next year. And we have an anticipated plan adoption date of August or September of this year. Any questions on the process or schedule? And then the next slide just shows us all of the plan elements again. It's housing, transportation, utilities and community facilities, natural, cultural, and agricultural resources, economic development, intergovernmental cooperation, and land use. There'll also be an implementation chapter, and then issues and opportunities are within the plan chapters as the goals and objectives. Any questions about the plan elements? Then we'll go to the next slide, and if we wanted to do an accelerated meeting, I could kind of use the PowerPoint and just go over the highlights. But I'm gonna open it up to you as to whether or not you wanna do that, or if you wanna go page by page and just pose the question on each page if anybody has any changes or comments.
I'm okay with accelerated if you are. I did read it myself.
I'd like to get on
Yeah.
this.
You read it? Wonderful. So you all came prepared with your comments and your changes and any corrections? Well, I found typos and my apologies about that. But is this okay, Mark, that we'll do the
Yes.
accelerated versions? So we're not even gonna reference the plan. Are you okay with this, Tom? You're sitting back here, and if you go online to the project webpage, which I think is at the bottom of the slide. I'm sorry these slides are so goofy, Mark.
Oh, it's all right, my iPad froze up, so.
But there's the
Use the
project
phone.
webpage. You can download the full draft plan that was dated January 12th. And it's under tonight's meeting packet. So, for future reference, and then you can always email me any comments or typos that you see when you're thoroughly reviewing this. And thanks in advance for your attention and review. Okay, so introduction chapter starts on page 3 is the acknowledgements, and I just added Carol, thank you so much. Really quick, I'm gonna ask, Mark, did you have a chance to look over the acknowledgements page, or did anybody else? And did you see any other corrections? We have the Plan Commission, Board of Trustees,
Okay, just give me a second.
village staff, Tom, should we add you?
Board of Trustees, Ashley replaces,
EMS. Commission.
Yeah, other than that, it's good.
Well, if you go back.
And then,
Or just-
Thank you.
under the plan commission, Deb Hoy now is Carol Christopher.
and Doug.
Oh, Deb
See,
Boy
but
is no longer
If you go back up
on.
to the village board,
No.
Doug Newton's not on the board any longer.
Right, that
So,
needs to be replaced with
That needs to be
Ashley.
changed.
Okay, who is,
Doug Newton, cross out Doug Newton, and
Oh.
in place of it, Ashley Chevrolet.
how do you spell that last?
CHEVERIER.
Thank you so much. And is it ASHLEY?
CHEVREIER.
REIER, sorry.
It's right there.
Can you read that from here?
Oh, there you go. Oh, okay.
Thanks,
Oh,
Nate.
C.
I was wondering,
Is
you
that
know,
right?
it was under your head.
I didn't see that either.
Well, she's my friend, I didn't
Oh.
know her. I've known her for a while. Her husband's name is ridiculous, but yes. She went from Ashley Reed, READ, to Ashley Chevrolet, and you can't spell it properly. Chevrolet, or,
Can't say it correctly.
it's Lily.
I was somewhere wrong.
That's Lily.
I never tried.
Thank you for that.
And then Deb Hoy,
Yeah,
is, okay,
cross that out and replace with Carol Christopher.
yes.
Great. Okay. Then, quickly, the plan, purpose, the process, and the public participation plan is all on page 4. And, again, the purpose of the plan is to replace the 2006 plan with with updated information in accordance with Wisconsin statute. And the process we went through, and we'll be updating that paragraph of that page at the end of the process. And we'll insert in how many meetings we conducted
Okay.
and the last one.
Now, this being the first meeting, it will actually be January 2026 through, right?
Well,
For your
I
edits?
put August because we came to board meetings.
Right.
And, you know, I think you should get credit for that.
Okay. We'll
All
take
the
it.
times, yeah, that you listened to our spiel and the process kind of began then. And then, of course, the November vision session would be included in that. And then at the bottom of that page 4, we have the public participation, and it's the 7 items that were adopted in the resolution. And so then we have the project schedule, and I was just nobody had any questions about that, so we can go to page 6 if you're following along. And this, at the top of this page, we have the 2006 overall goals. Actually, Mark, if you could go back up. I do want to review this with you. So I know that you had a 2022 amendment, and I took a look at that again this morning, and was wondering if that's still relevant, and if we just want to update these overall goals in accordance with that 22 amendment. And I'll just run through it really quick. The amendment says to keep number 1, which is to maintain the small village feel of the village of Baldwin as the community grows. Would everybody be okay with keeping that as it is? Any proposed changes? Okay, great. Yes. Then number 2, in the amendment, it stated that this was completed, but it didn't state whether or not you wanted to remove it. So number 2 says develop a new industrial park to be able to accommodate new industries and help existing industries to expand. Do you
So-
wanna keep that?
I think we need to keep a statement like that in there, but I think it needs to say more like promote. Because the industrial park was completed, whether anybody ever goes in there. I mean, obviously, part of it was built on, but the rest of it now is just a little challenging to say the least.
Vacant, yeah.
But we need a statement in there saying that we want to promote, the village wants to promote new industries or expansion of existing industries. And, yeah, which it says in there. So I think you just kind of get rid of the developing a new industrial park part of it and kind of reword it. I think it's important to be in there though.
Great. So should we write promote the industrial park and new industries?
Mhm.
And attracting new industries.
There you go. Great.
Prefer new versus expansion.
Well, either one.
And
Yeah.
attracting, oh yeah.
We want, I mean, you
And
gotta do
attracting
both. You
new
gotta,
industries.
because
You know,
most growth is
and-
existing companies expanding and different companies.
Right, but over the, you look at it over the next 10 years, you know, that potential, who knows what that potential could be to develop more of the industrial park, whether it went south or whether it went east or whatever, you know, so I think you gotta look out 10 years and say, what's it gonna look like at that point in time? And I think to develop or continue to improve and develop ought to be in play for over the next 10 years. I mean, to me, that makes some degree of sense, but.
Yeah, and you know, we have land that the village owns, 40+ acres, plus we have a lot of land in that same area that's privately owned, and
Right.
at the current time, the sellers don't seem like they're real motivated, but at some
No,
point
right.
that may change.
Right, I mean.
And we do have a lot of area that could be developed.
Right, I mean, you know, that's why I say, 10 years from now, who knows what. that'll happen.
Exactly.
So,
Mhm.
I think we gotta keep that in mind to continually develop if it's possible,
Yeah, exactly.
especially in the industrial park.
Great. So I just looked at the grammar a little bit closer. Promote the industrial park, and we maybe wanna say to accommodate new industries and help existing industries to expand. So instead of the word and, I would keep the word to. I'm sorry, I misspoke. So it'll read, promote the industrial park to accommodate new industries and help existing industries to expand. Do you want to expand that, promote the industrial park and the village Main Street? Or do you
I think
want
Main Street would be different.
just
Yeah,
the
that's a
They're
different-
separate, they're
Yeah.
separate,
Okay,
tip districts.
just keep the industrial park. Okay, great. Then, the amendment stated to keep number 3, explore opportunities of sharing public facilities with neighboring communities. Any proposed changes? And okay to keep it?
Yes.
Sure. Right.
No objection.
Well, if they're willing to share in their costs, I'd certainly do that.
Right.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you wanna add cost-sharing opportunities. Explore opportunities of sharing public
Yeah, I think
facilities.
that's-
That's adequate.
Is adequate, I don't think we wanna get
Yeah.
more specific than that.
Okay, just leave it. Then, number 4, that also was, in the amendment to keep as it
Shouldn't it be
is.
maintain instead of create? Because I feel like we haven't
Yeah.
created.
Aesthetic,
Sure.
so,
It seems to me it should be maintain a clean and aesthetically pleasing community.
Yeah.
Unless we all don't think it's already aesthetically pleasing.
or something like, continue to promote a clean, aesthetically pleasing community that provides higher quality of life for Baldwin residents, visitors, people who visit.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest visitors to, just to shorten it a little.
Yeah,
If that's okay. Great. Any other suggestions for number 4? Then I think that the amendment alludes to removal of 5 and 6.
Because especially 6.
Yeah, we don't have the bypass anymore, we got rid of it.
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's right, that needs to go.
Okay. So,
The 5 is driven so much by the state, really.
Right.
local transportation system that allows for the smooth flow of traffic through the village as well as safe transportation alternatives for local residents. So keep 5.
Yeah, I think so, we can keep that with that.
Sounds great. And then, do you wanna keep any portions of 6 or change it? To increase and encourage commercial and retail opportunities within the village by exploring Main Street revitalization and also plan for the new, but probably cross out the end part. You were saying there's no bypass.
Revitalization, we've done, there's
We have,
pretty much
yeah.
what we can do downtown now. Other
Yeah.
than maybe fixing up a building here or there.
Right,
You could say promote or continue Main Street revive, something to that effect. And then take the last part out,
So,
because there's still opportunities and needs for downtown for some of the buildings. Like the old bakery, the old hotel, the building next to it, whatever that was, there is.
which building was the old hotel?
One across from Bailey Park.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
across the street from the other part.
Okay, good. The crack house. Okay.
What was it called?
Crack house.
Maybe-
There-
How
Another meeting?
how are
Hey.
you?
Where am I late?
Every town has one.
It was
We started at 5:30.
5:30.
You're okay. Yeah.
Way to go, Eric.
Yeah.
You won.
No, it's-
But you feel like we need to have something that still focuses on Main Street?
Yeah, I definitely think so, because it's a,
There were a lot of comments relating to Main Street stuff, and
Yes.
input from the people. There were a lot of comments on that, so I think there needs to be something maintained in there. The only thing that probably should go out is the 63 bypass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even when you say commercial and residential development, I guess that's something that is certainly need residential development.
yeah, it's an ongoing thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
it's just
we'll do.
something that continually,
Yeah,
do.
we need more lots.
Residential development, that's across the village, not just.
Right.
not
Right.
just downtown.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe
Maybe that's,
continue to promote Main Street revitalization?
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Okay,
I think that
cool.
would sound good, yep.
Okay. Any additional overall goals that you would wanna add? And I know it's been a month or over a month since we reviewed that vision session. And I was also gonna offer, to, you know, maybe plug in more of the information into AI and have it summarized into the goals. But I think that maybe waiting until after all of the chapter reviews, and then what we can do is put all of your reviews of the goals within each chapter into AI and revisit this short list. And it's obviously gonna be a lot longer list, but maybe look at that at the end of the process. Does that sound okay? Sorry, I didn't do anything with AI, the way that this was, because you had that 22 amendment, and I thought, we'll just review that. Okay. At the bottom of page 6, if you're following along, we have just the general location description of the Village of Baldwin, and then a short history that was from the 2006 plan. And I just have a quick question, if anybody reviewed that, do you have any changes or corrections? Would you like me to look in different sources or add anything? Sorry, I don't want to slide this one. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have a slide for that one.
It's all right.
Okay.
And we're doing the accelerated review
Yeah.
with this, but if you wanted to toggle over to the actual draft plan, we can do that too.
Okay, so I gotta shut out of this, and then I can try to
Oh,
hook in with this again. This is, like, I'm on the plan, but I can't get out of the screen,
it's okay.
and like the power isn't responding either, it's kinda weird. So I can stop sharing from my phone, and do it from my iPad. But then we won't have this up, so it kinda depends on your, but I can put that up there, if it'd be easier
We
to
got a
follow
paper
that.
copy.
It's so hard to say. I feel like the PowerPoint is way easier to read.
Mhm.
And so, but it's minimal. It's just the things that I wanted to review. And again, I invite you to please email me. If you are reviewing these paragraphs and you think of something that you want to add or you see a correction, please don't be afraid to email me. That's not outside of the process rules or anything. And then what I will do is share any of those changes that I receive at our next meeting. So with that, I think we can move on to, we'll skip over, there is a location map on page 7. And if you see any corrections or changes to that, please let me know. And up on the screen, we have the population and projections, which is also on page 8 of that January 12th draft plan. And what this shows is that since 1950, the Village of Baldwin has experienced continual population growth. And according to the 2020 decennial census, the village has 4,291 residents. And as I was traveling in the village, I noticed that you have the 2020 population right on your population welcome sign. So I was wondering, does the state of Wisconsin send you an updated population sign, like after the decennial census?
Well, I think they put that on,
Or
don't
did you
they?
guys
I
have,
feel like they do, because every town
DOT
has
puts it
one.
on.
it's awesome,
So,
right?
yes,
Every
I don't,
city in in Wisconsin, that drive-through has welcome to, like, my hometown is Seymour, Wisconsin. Welcome
Yeah.
to Seymour, Wisconsin population. I feel like maybe they do, because it's on every city sign.
And I
Small
just don't
city.
know, I've been involved with it, if actually Public Works creates some
Who owns
sign.
that
Oh.
sign?
Yeah,
Right.
Right.
they might.
I was just pleased to see that it matched the 2020 population. That's awesome.
It is good.
There wasn't a
Yeah.
half on there or something.
Oh, right, or from 1950. So that's really great. This graph also shows that the population growth peaked between 2000 and 2010. The lowest growth was recorded in the most recent decade between 2010 and 2020. And then a quick note about the projections to 2030 and 2040. They were developed with an extrapolation calculation based on the previous population changes only, with no other factors considered. And then at the bottom of this page, we go on to explain that for comparison, in 2024, the Wisconsin Department of Administration released projections, and they are a little bit lower because they use the cohort component method, which projects the population by updating the size of each of the age and gender groups in the base population for births, deaths, and migration. So we provided that 2024 projections to 2030 and to 2040, but we kept the extrapolation because it's using all of this previous data. So,
It's gonna be off no matter what.
right? It
Oh,
is,
right.
just looking into a crystal ball and guessing, so. But any questions about population and projections? Then we'll move on to the next slide, and if you're following along, page 9 has information about the median age. According to the 2020 decennial census, the Village of Baldwin's median age is 35.5. And the village median age is slightly lower in 2020 than the county and the state. So you have a younger population. Any questions about median age? And also on page 10, I don't have it up on the slide, there's an age and gender table that just shows the percentages of male and female in each one of the age groups for 2020. Then we're on to page 11, next slide. This is the first, or no, I inserted the housing survey and vision session results, which you can actually find on page 22 and 23, or no, sorry, 24 and 25. So these results were within that appendix A that we reviewed at the December 10th board meeting. And in summary, I'll just go over that. I remembered about 70% agreed that there was a need for more affordable and senior and single-family housing. And that's shown in that second, the bottom graph. The top graph shows that most respondents, about 52%, are satisfied with housing options. And also most, about 75%, agree that the external appearance, condition, maintenance of property or housing is important. And then I just listed the categories that we discussed at the vision session summary. But again, if you wanted to take a look at that, it's on page 25 within the appendix A in the draft plan dated January 12th. And the AI version of this vision session summary came up with a little bit different topic headings, which I appreciated, I think it was a nice summary. The first heading is housing affordability and access. Second is lot sizes and community character. 3 is variety of housing types, cradle to the grave. 4 is new development and growth planning. 5 is regulations, zoning, and consistency. 6 is housing condition and maintenance. I think I just found a typo. I'm really glad I'm going through that. I'm sorry. It's supposed to be housing condition and maintenance. And then the last topic was neighborhood impacts and supporting amenities. Any comments on the housing, public participation summary?
One thing on the housing affordability and stuff, you throw in $300,000 in there. You'd be hard pressed to find anything at 300,000 around here anymore. And it compares to 300,000 down here and 300,000 in Hudson, you know. Or Richmond, I mean, the location really drives that base level all an awful lot. I mean, you go, basically it's $1,000 a mile as you go west. Property starts going up. Rentals start going up. Availability goes down, you know, you're closer to the cities. So, I think some of the growth involved in here has been because we have been an affordable location.
Yeah.
And then halfway between the cities and halfway between Eau Claire and Menominee, you know, it's a central location that people can go either way.
Well, I bought here. It was affordable.
Yeah.
Hudson certainly wasn't.
So that affordability is, you know, variable. For the most part, we are probably more affordable than most of the surrounding communities.
And that might be interesting. There is a section about housing value, and we're gonna get to that in just a second. Thank you for the comments. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is the housing units and projections that you'll find on page 12. And the graphic tables show the estimated number of houses and changes from 1990 to 2020, and then projections again to 2030 and 2040. The village has experienced increases in housing since 1990, with the most growth from 2000 to 2010, an addition of 516 houses. And in the most recent decade, the information from the census showed a decrease in housing units, minus 38 from 2010 to 2020, and I wanted to ask if that feels true. Does it seem true? And do you know where the units may have been? Were units demolished?
That's a good
No, I think it's just a
No.
decrease from
Yeah,
the
it doesn't
increase,
seem
right?
right.
It's not a net negative 38, it's just, is it 38 less than the previous decade? That would seem right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Exactly, that's why I'm asking. It is actually a decrease of 38 units from the previous decade.
Yeah, so this is showing basically a net.
Fewer.
Yeah, 3 years, that probably
Yeah.
should have
Not the 38 should be that,
Right.
it's down
Right.
been.
less than
Right.
that. So your
38,
projection from 2010
I don't know
to
if there's
2020 was
38.
less.
A few.
My guess would be that the 2010 number is incorrect.
Yeah,
Okay,
I would agree.
Because it just, if you think of steady growth, that big jump, I don't know, just looking at the total numbers, 2000 is 1100,
That's not,
2010 is 16, 2020 is 16, 30, I guess 30, 40 are projections, but I don't know. It
But
kind of seems
Oh,
like.
that does-
After 2010, you had 2008, and that kind of upsetted everything until
Right.
about mid-decade.
Yeah, that's true. Did have
But
a
there's-
housing crisis to fulfill.
Yeah,
There's a lot of growth since 2010 though. I mean, we've had 3 developments at least since 2010.
Right.
Yeah, but
And that's what I was just gonna
Over
ask.
on Blueville and to the north of
yeah, but
Blueville.
most of that has been kind of later in the decade too, or more
Well, I'm
recent.
looking at 2010,
Yeah.
you know, and that's 14 years ago, so a number of those were replaced by that, at least at the beginning of that time.
There was also some that sat empty for a while.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah, but
Right.
still, it's a housing unit, and whether, if there's
Yeah,
nobody
whether
occupying it,
there's
there's
someone
still,
there or not.
that
There
permit was
were,
issued.
there were lots out there that weren't houses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And fair amount since 2020.
Yeah, yeah.
oh, yeah, right, yeah, definitely that.
Could I request building permit data?
Right.
Maybe we should replace, or, I'll double check that 2010 number, I think that's a really good guess. That,
Yeah.
just make sure that that's,
That might be off.
yeah, that that's correct. But then also, could we supplement this data with building permit data? Just of any new residential units? It, maybe back to 2000, like.
So I wonder if the census reports are gonna have that kind of thing, or,
Actually, it would be the village,
Okay.
or do you contract
yeah.
with
Yeah.
Croy.
you
All correct.
oh, wonderful.
All
I've gathered data from them
Okay.
several times. I usually ask that if you wouldn't mind reaching out, it's probably better coming from you, and then you gather the data as well for your records. They give you an annual report.
Yes, they do.
Yeah,
So we can look back at those.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know when they started working for the village.
17, I think.
Was it that long ago?
16, 17.
When it came up, when we were talking about the driveway,
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right,
Yeah.
17.
but then was it, Wirt?
Yeah,
Brian
Brian
Wood
Wood
before
Wood
that,
Was
yeah.
before that, so
Right.
they would have record. going
But
back a
aren't
ways.
they filed in the county or anything?
No. You wouldn't have a building permit at the county level, only at the village level.
Right.
Because village hires the,
Yeah.
so, I don't think, the county, they might have the number of units, but they don't have the, I don't know, I don't think maybe would.
We have lots.
All right,
We
yeah.
have
Because
lots
the county
that are
controls that
created.
development.
Yeah.
Right.
And that, we're coming up on that too. We've got a subdivision
Yeah.
map that we'll review in a couple of pages.
Yeah, but a lot of the lots out east there, they were created in 2000s, okay? And we've just gone like 6 times now and taken a section of these, and this is gonna be developed. And we got one of those left.
Yeah, the 9th edition is coming.
Yeah.
Right now.
So,
And then we're out of lots, for the most part.
okay,
Well, I just wonder how, just with different changeover of both building inspection agency and the staff, if it's easy to find that information, the number of building permits pulled.
We'll see what we can find.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll see what,
And if I
maybe
can
there's a
assist
record,
in that,
you know, going back, but, yeah.
Great.
Check with Alcroy, at least back to 17,
Yeah.
and before that, who was it?
Brian Word.
Brian Word.
Yeah, Word Building,
Right,
Yeah.
that's now a different name.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what it is now.
Um,
I remember Brian, he did my deck, yeah.
Didn't get much food past Brian.
No, he was thorough, it's great.
What?
He was thorough.
Yep.
Yeah, it was measuring the depths of the hole for the posts in the deck.
My deck
It's
is,
only
my
35
deck's not
inches.
going anywhere.
35 inches, I gotta get 3 feet, you're gonna get me on an inch? Okay. Reschedule again.
My stairs were 2 inches too narrow.
it's now TF Inspection Agency. is what-
PF,
TF,
oh, TF,
yeah.
Yeah.
But a change of ownership, you don't know what records are,
yeah. They're not working for
what
us anymore.
systems, what
When
systems
you
you're
combine your lines,
using.
did you build something?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that will be really
Oh,
helpful
you did, okay.
and better information,
It's,
more accurate.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay, just like that.
I think we can go on to the next slide, and that's the housing occupancy and tenure. These two measurements are important in determining whether there is adequate housing supply to meet the demand. An overall vacancy rate of 3% is considered ideal and represents market stability. The vacancy rate in the village in 2020, according to the census, is a little bit lower than that recommended HUD level at 2%. The 10-year data shows that the percentage of owner-occupied housing has increased from 1990. Yeah, it was 67% in 1990, and then to 2020, 71%. And this is in line with one of the 2006 housing goals, which we'll discuss later in this chapter. But you had a very large jump in that owner-occupied housing units. From 2000, it was 40%, up to 2020, 71. So there was a drop from 1990 to 2000, and then you've been gaining ever since then. So, any questions?
Basically in 2000, we had the development out to east, and we had the lots and stuff that we could build on. Before that time, we didn't have any place to build on.
Right.
Would you like to add something about that development? Or it maybe will be covered in that subdivision map that we're coming up on?
Yeah.
Okay. Housing type is the next slide, and we're on page 14. So most of the homes in the village are single family. In 2020, approximately 75%. The percentage of one unit structures increased by 17% from 2000 to 2020. And the percentage of 2 or more units have decreased from 2000. Here I found a typo this morning, my apologies, I'll correct that. It's supposed to say 37% in 2000 to 2020 at 23%. And then the percentage of mobile homes have decreased from 6% to 3%. And then page 15, and I don't have this graph up on the slide, which I'm glad about because I found a bunch of typos, which I will correct, and I'm so sorry. This is year built data. What I gathered was about 25% of the current structures were built in 1949 or earlier. And then from 1950 to 1979, another 25% were built. And then from 1980 to 1999, about 22% were built, and about 1/3 of the housing in Baldwin was constructed since 2000. So I'm sorry I misspoke. There was only about 22% prior to 1949. So the majority of the housing is newer, is what I can devise from this.
That's where all the growth is too.
What's that mean? What's
That's
that?
where all the growth is.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're finally to the housing subdivision map, which is explained on the bottom of page 15, and then it's on page 16. So the subdivision map shows all types of subdivisions by the year recorded. And the map reveals that early housing development and subdivisions from 1850 to 1940 were recorded around the railroad and the intersection of Highway 63 and Highway 12. And then subdivisions from 1940 to the present continue north and stretch south to Highway 94. Sorry that you can't see
Nicole, the two oranges are so close together for my eyes. Can we somehow change one of them from orange to something else? Or
Yeah.
am I crazy, or is that?
No.
No, you're not crazy.
No.
Orange and darker orange.
I
Maps
mean,
are
where my house
so
was built-
hard.
Where my house was built, I know that's the 70 to 99, but it kind of looks like earlier. It's definitely not.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a common problem. If you look at, Eric and I were just talking about this last week. You look at our big zoning map.
Yep, yep.
Right.
Okay, and
I
then
bet.
people call me and they want like exact, you know, and you got a lot about the size of a pinhead. Is that dark brown or is that orange, you know? So sometimes I have to call Eric and say, but he sent me a better, smaller one now that's just colors. So I think between the two of them, I'll be able to function.
Yeah.
One of the oranges
Figure it
could
out.
change, that'd be lovely, because they're very hard to see, the difference between the oranges.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's a minor item, but I noticed it on the earlier map too, I just don't wanna interrupt, but down south of the interstate,
Yeah.
Gracie Drive,
Yep.
we did annex another 40+ acres to the west of where the line is now,
Oh.
and that just is.
Is that the area in the green there, Eric?
Yep,
Yeah.
that
yep.
section there is, you know,
Is it here?
officially part of the village
Sorry.
Yep.
and part of the TIF district.
Yeah.
Right,
It's the basis of the TIF district.
8, right?
Thank
Yep.
you.
This is
My
seven,
apologies.
this, all this.
Yep, which also includes the hospital.
Need to make sure I'm using the most up-to-date parcels. Thank you. Any other comments or questions on that subdivisions map? Then we're on to housing value on page 17. So the village has experienced a significant increase in median home value since 1990. The value projections for 2030 and 2040 were again developed with that extrapolation calculation based on the previous decades. And the Village of Baldwin median housing value in 2020 was lower than the state of Wisconsin and the county. So that's also shown on 17, I'm sorry I didn't have a slide for that one. Any questions or comments on the median value?
To me, the median value is lower here just because of our location.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's appropriate. I feel like those projections are way off though.
Oh, yeah.
They seem low.
Yeah, they seem very low.
But any city, any area you look at, and you look at the median price, it seems low. I don't care if it's Edina or Baldwin, and really you look at the market, you know, and it's basically supply and demand of houses.
Sure.
There's just not that much supply.
There must be some on the low end, bringing that median down.
Is it the taxable value or is it your market value? Because my farm property is gonna go through the reassessment here for
That might be
taxes
part of
this
it.
year. And I'm assuming that the village is gonna have to do that again here, or rather within a year or two. To get everything in balance again.
So, yeah, I don't know if this is assessed.
I would assume
Assessed.
assessed value.
That's gonna be
I
lower.
would assume it's assessed value.
Assessed value is off
Couldn't
$100,000.
guess that
Is that
as
something you
well.
would be tracking? You wouldn't be able to, no one's gonna track what the average sale price is that's gonna be necessarily, you know? So I mean, this is state numbers that are coming from the assessed value.
Right,
Yeah.
I would think so too, and then, you know, what Mark's thinking is the difference of the assessed value to
Right.
the market value.
Right.
So that's the equalized
Right.
value,
Yeah.
right, which the county has numbers on
Right.
equalized value too.
We could
Should
provide
know to
more.
find out what that number is based on.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% positive that it's the tax assessed value. And in other plans, we have provided some market data, because there's I think it's the Department of Administration, provides that data as well. They've made that public. And I think the town of Star Prairie was the last plan where I included that information, so I can look for market value as well. And
Yeah.
provide
Thing is-
more information about equalized value, if you're interested.
The thing is about
I
market
don't know
value.
that matters, honestly.
Okay.
I don't know.
Market value doesn't come into play until something is sold.
Right.
Right,
Where taxable value is a constant that kind of gets adjusted every few years based on.
Well, it's
Aggregate.
based on sales when they adjust it anyway, so, when they're starting doing their, well, eventually it catches up
Yeah.
with itself, you know.
Did I miss it, or where is all this data coming from? Is there,
it's all census.
Well,
Great question.
I mean,
And-
I don't see you say where the source is, so if I was sitting out there in the chairs, I'd be saying, well, where are you pulling these numbers from?
That's what just
All
what we
set.
asked.
Census, yep,
Census.
all census.
All of it, okay,
Yes,
throughout this, okay.
yep,
Teachers coming out.
Yeah.
and,
Cite your sources.
Cite your source.
but the census gathers this particular data, I'm almost certain that it's the tax assessed value that the census uses from the
Yes,
state,
yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And
So that would be the
so-
same for the year built information? So that's.
Yep,
okay,
all
of
of
it.
it is
That's just what I'm,
census.
in my head trying to wrap my.
Yeah, census has a big component of real estate in
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
values
Sorry, but I don't-
when structures were built.
Okay.
Good, Brian. Drink of it.
I can add, I'll.
Happy New Year.
I think I only mentioned the census as a source of the housing demand
so that's it for you.
or units and the occupancy and tenure, but I can add that, to the beginning of all of them.
And just to
Sorry.
clarify it, so people aren't going
Yeah.
back and saying, is this
Mhm.
still the same data, or is this not coming from somewhere else?
Yep, that's a great, great catch, thank you. And then I'll add in a little blurb about the tax assessed value too, for the housing value page on 17. Great. Okay. then on page 18, we just have a small discussion about housing affordability. So the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, defines affordable housing as that which does not exceed more than 30% of household income. And the graphs, I can't remember if I had a graph of this one on the slideshow, I don't, I'm sorry. But it is on page 18. And the information shows 3 census categories, including less than 20% of income, 20% to 29% of income, and then that non-affordable, which would be 30% or more of a person's income that they're spending. And so, contrary to what we were hearing from the vision session, according to the census, majority of the homeowners in the village, at about 90%, are paying less than the 30% of their household income towards homeowner costs. So that leaves just 10% that is not affordable. So.
Nicole, on 18, if this is data for the village of Baldwin, you have the village of Hudson listed.
Oh my gosh, oh
Okay.
embarrassing, good catch, thank you.
Like, if this is our data, we need to change it. Probably very different data for Hudson, honestly.
I don't even know how that would get in there because we haven't done a comprehensive plan.
Because the county is in Hudson?
Yeah, exactly, I don't know.
Because you just did North Hudson?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I think it would have said North Hudson. I'm sorry, good catch, thank you.
Better verify the numbers then too.
Yeah.
I know, so does that feel true or not so much?
Less than 30?
Did you say, yeah, verify the numbers? Well, there is no technically village of Hudson.
There's Village
It's
of
a
North
city.
Hudson. Village of North Hudson, though.
Oh, that's true.
And they are
That's
similar in
true.
size to us.
Okay. Good, duly noted. Okay, great. I will verify the numbers. Sorry about that.
Right.
Do you think it would be more that are paying more than 30%?
I don't know if, that's,
I-
you make that statement.
Yeah.
Let's remind us.
What?
I don't know if I can even make a statement to yes or no.
Yeah.
I would
It's
think that
hard.
the changes in financing after 2008,
That's the case.
you're not gonna get the chance to get in over your head as much or as easily anymore. So I would assume that some of that's gonna go away. You're simply not gonna get a loan to do those type of
I
stuff.
only know my situation.
Yeah, I could compare this to other communities, to, I know that we were providing comparisons to the state and the county for other things.
Well,
Be
we just
interested
do
in
a
that.
state average or a county average, how we stand with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'll do that, I'll add that too. Okay, then we're on to page 19, and I don't have a slide for this one either because it's very long. It's the housing programs list. So we have county and local at the top, then state, and then federal. And I don't think I'm gonna go through this line by line, and I'm just gonna allow you guys to let me know if you see any typos or if you would like to add anything.
Sequoia Valley Habitat is in Hudson now.
Oh, thank you,
They're all the TA.
thanks. we are on the last page, page 20, the last slide also, which is the 2006 Housing Goals, Objectives, and Policies. I took out the word programs because we added in that list of programs, and noticed that I didn't take it out of the top heading, but I think I'll do that, if that's okay with everybody. So what I'd like to do is just walk right through this and take any changes or corrections. Goal 1 states ensure land is available for future housing needs. Look good?
It's right on.
Yeah.
It's a problem right now,
Right.
taking out in the future, but
Do you wanna reword it, or any changes, or just?
The only thing I have concern with this is the word ensure, because we're not the ultimate, you know,
We're not the-
provider of
Yeah,
land,
right,
basically, right?
Right.
We wanna promote it, or assist.
No, we are not.
We're not, we can't ensure that, I mean, it's.
Yeah. So, maybe inventory
yeah.
or assess your word.
Yeah, I think promoting
Assess.
is,
Promote
Land
land.
availability
Promote that
for
land,
future
yeah.
housing needs.
Yeah, that's good.
yeah,
Assess land availability. Great, love it.
These are all just appendices.
Would a policy be, you know, potential adjustments in the zoning code to promote development? I don't know if this is goal 1 or goal 2
well,
underneath, but,
we have to be careful how we word that, because, you know, we don't wanna come out and say, well, we're gonna basically like provide incentives or, you know,
right,
do specific things, but we wanna say that we're gonna help, broadly speaking, and just leave it broad.
mhm.
Maybe we could.
Because, I mean, that is an issue, you know, there's pressure to change communities, you know, zoning
yeah.
Yeah.
language to allow different things and to provide incentives and different, you know, so I don't know, we don't wanna get into that in here.
Right, but, you know, some pressure to have, I guess, less traditional neighborhoods, you know, that came in for the development
Right.
with the narrow lots
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
you know, more dense.
Well, we did that. Basically, prior to 2000, it was all single-family houses, very few twin homes and townhomes. And then in early 2000s, it came in, and the Meadows and all that development came in, and it was twin homes, and
Sure. Maybe it's already in there, I was thinking.
that's where the R3 and R4 came through at that point in time, okay?
Mhm.
Um,
Well, the development that was potentially coming in, just south of Dollar General.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that one, they would have to be the PUD? Or, I'm not quite remembering.
Yeah, that's kinda what it's
Because
been.
they wanted to do to the narrower lots in
Yeah.
there, so that,
Right.
you know,
Which
that.
is,
Yeah.
which is an R1M.
Right.
Okay, so it's still.
So we have
available in current
a,
code.
Yeah, we have something.
we have something in place that they could
fits
use.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe just thinking out loud,
Yeah.
if our code already allows it, it's not an issue, but if it's, yeah, and maybe we don't say promote through zoning code or anything, but it was.
Right, and I
We
don't
should at
wanna
least
say that exactly.
evaluate your adaptability, you know,
Yeah, you
because we, like I said, in the 2000s, we added zonings for that type of development. They came to us and said, we got nothing in place, we wrote a zoning, and then R3, and then next came in and they had R4.
could add something that states continue to evaluate zoning ordinances consistent with housing needs.
Mhm.
Or
That's-
just generally, or
Yeah.
just general
That's
needs,
good.
general village needs.
Yeah,
Because you could have, did the same thing when the hospital went in, we created a new zoning for the hospital.
yeah.
Oh.
So if something comes in,
Well,
we have adapted,
and these are the goals for the housing chapter.
okay,
But that point is noted, and we can maybe add something similar
Yeah.
to the land use chapter.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so that it would be, just continue to evaluate and assess zoning ordinances.
But at least in the past, we have done things.
Mhm,
We haven't done anything more recently,
mhm.
but nobody's looked at the zoning.
And that's the PUD, the whole purpose of that overlay district.
Yeah, because that was all done in that timeframe then too.
Yeah, we still use
So
it.
these are the 2006 goals,
Yeah.
and so then we're rewriting these to be the 36 goals or something?
Well, I wasn't gonna
Or
include
not.
a year.
Okay.
Basically, on the cover page of the draft plan, we just state the year that we anticipate it will be adopted. So we're just calling it the Village of Baldwin Comprehensive Plan 2026. I'm trying to stay away from that horizon
Mm.
year, just because I think it is sometimes confusing. Sort of like the current plan,
Mhm.
your current plan says 2006 to 2026. And unfortunately, the state statute, guides you and requires you to update it every 10 years. But we are supposed to be planning for a 20-year horizon. So it's just confusing. And we just decided to put the year that it's adopted on the front. And,
Yeah.
what did you say?
The-
And so we default to all projections are wrong, some are useful.
Yeah, well, because the state statute also asks us
Yeah.
to do that 20-year horizon to 2030 and to 2040. But hopefully you'll revisit the plan again in 2036.
Well,
I will.
And
I'm just wondering if,
You'll
I had it at the beginning, the overall, 2006 overall goals, do we have we're going through this, do we change these goals? Does this eventually change in your final draft to 2026? Overall goals and 2026 housing goals, objectives, programs, policies, or do we just copy and paste what was in 06?
Well-
Like, is there going to be that?
That's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
I'm here to ask you guys what you want your 2026 housing goals to be.
Okay, and that's
So,
kind of what I
so
thought.
we're
we
doing
were.
that right now. And then my next question to you, after we get through this and make the changes that you want, I'm wondering if you want me to plug this into AI again and
Yes.
have it maybe combine the objectives and policies language. It's really good at doing that. And then it makes it more condensed. But that would be an extra review kind of, that we would have to pick up at our next meeting. But maybe we should just get through this.
Yeah, and I guess I wanna encourage that, right, if there's any edits in these, this is the time
Yeah.
to do it. Yeah.
Right.
And so these will kind of, I think out of everything from this whole section, like, these are most important to me. Kind of critique.
Great comments.
So kind of what your question is,
And-
20 years later, are our goals still the same for the village?
Right.
Based off of these original goals for
Mhm.
06.
I
Are we
think that,
comfortable with what they say?
right, and I think it's a good time to tweak some of the language if you feel like it's more appropriate, which we are doing with, not ensure, but promote land development.
Assets, yeah.
But even looking into I think the objectives are, the goals are good, I think. The objectives and policies, I guess I would maybe look to reword a little bit or change.
These all feel general enough that I'm not opposed to any of them.
Yeah,
They're all fairly general.
How about
Let's
affordability, do we want a goal for that, or?
Is how would we control that?
I don't think you have any input on
Right.
A
that.
lot of market pressure from the outside that we have no control.
That's gonna be your developer,
Good.
what type of housing does he wanna build, or do you think?
I could research some incentives that the village could implement. For the Village of North Hudson's plan, we put a paragraph about zoning and accessory dwelling units. And also other incentives for developers to incorporate affordable units within their development, and density, you were talking about, that was implemented in 2000. So we could put a little paragraph about that. So sorry.
Yeah, and I don't know about the ADU thing. I don't know if we want something in here about that. I get it, but I don't know if, there's a lot of concern with that kind of thing too.
Right.
there is, yeah, heard that from the board of
Yeah.
affordable housing
Yeah.
or subsidized housing.
Yeah.
Exactly, because that's where that is,
Yeah, affordable housing
Emanated
is
from-
different from subsidized.
yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
The ADU thing is a way to address affordable housing, but I'm not sure that's with us is.
Yeah, I know that are left out.
There are other ways to do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump back up here to the objective number 1 under goal 1. And wonder if we can just kind of go through and say yay or nay, and then any changes we would wanna make. So objective 1 is maintain steady and planned growth in the village.
As long as we
Well,
can.
That's good.
We've never had steady growth. We've had lumpy growth.
Spurts and then
Yep,
stop and
yep.
spurt, yeah.
Good objective.
Yeah.
Not realistic though.
So maybe cross out steady.
Yeah.
Maintain an environment for
Continue.
planned,
Yeah.
Planned growth means we're trying to plan where things happen and
Yep.
what type of housing.
Yeah, take out steady.
Yeah.
Maintain planned growth. Okay. Or continue to, implement planned growth strategies.
That works.
Good,
I'm good.
I like it.
Continue to implement planned growth strategies. Or policies, because then the policies could match planned growth, use proposed land use map. Yeah, so maybe I'll say, continue to implement planned growth policies in the village. And then that'll be consistent with, so policy number 1 states, use proposed land use map to direct growth. And that, I think they're talking about the future land use map within the land use chapter.
Yep.
Could we change that to future land use
Mhm.
map?
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, and then also we could maybe add zoning map here.
Yeah.
Well,
Use
that's part of that map.
zoning
Yeah.
map.
That's part of that map.
It is separate, though.
Because
It's,
there can be areas that are zoned to something else now, even that future land use might fit better in
Okay.
something else. Yeah, so it's slightly different.
yeah,
Well, that you could, this is what was proposed, and the zoning is, this is what actually happened, you know.
Right, this is current zoning, and future land use might have a different zoning
Yeah,
for
yeah.
current designation. Yep.
But I think the future should be a little more residential here, commercial here, you know, parks here, type of thing versus,
it's
you
more
know,
general.
versus a specific zoning type
Sure.
there.
Yeah. But I think, yeah, you're right.
Future should be a lot more broad brushed.
Exactly.
Okay, great. I think I'll add in the continue to also here. So continue to use the future land use map and the zoning map to direct growth.
Yes.
Does that sound okay?
Yep.
Great. And then number 2 is explore the possibilities of infilling and redevelopment within the village.
So this one I think is good, but I think we need to cross off explore the possibilities and just have something that says something to the effect of promote or assist with redevelopment within the village.
Great.
This is where like tax increment comes into play and acquisition, things like that.
Right now, with the lot situation right now, that's what we're gonna have.
Infill is big,
As the next 5 years or so.
yeah.
That's gonna be the lots you got.
Now, what is infilling cover?
We got some lots out on Birch, I think, out there.
Mhm.
They're empty between 2 houses.
Okay.
Put a house in there,
Okay,
another one there.
gotcha.
Or somebody buys a house,
Yeah.
wants a lot and tears a house down and builds a new one on it in
Yeah.
that older area of homes.
Okay.
And then redevelopment could be more, probably more toward commercial, like in the downtown.
Yeah.
There's a municipality buys a property, tears the building down, and then another developer comes in and builds, that's like redevelopment. So,
Yeah, in particular to this, since it's the housing section, like commercial would be like the downtown.
Yeah.
Commercial first
So
floor.
this, right, it's
apartments
houses.
upstairs, yep.
but it can be redevelopment of a bigger area where something's torn down and single family or multifamily is built on it.
Great.
So I'm
Okay, so
assuming,
promote,
I'm assuming that if you were gonna annex some land, probably to the west, that would be part of the land use planning versus the housing.
Yeah, future land use, or the land use planning section.
Yeah.
so we'll correct that one to promote infilling and redevelopment within the
Yeah,
village.
I think that's good.
Great. And then
Something we want in there, I just, we need to kind of refocus a little bit.
Yeah, and then I did add in a number 3, continue to evaluate and assess zoning ordinances consistent with housing needs.
Yeah,
That sounds good. Yes,
Great.
thanks.
And then goal 2, provide a balance between single-family and multifamily housing. Do we maybe?
So, the more I read this, the less I like it. I guess what I don't like is balance, that part of it, because
Yeah,
they're two separate things. And as we sit now, we're looking at both, right?
Encourage a mix.
I
all
don't think,
types.
yeah, I don't think a balance is the right word, because that would mean a lot more multifamily, you know,
So
if you're
is it
trying to balance.
encouraging,
Encourage a
Encourage
diverse.
all types of
level.
housing?
But with the new apartments planned for out there, that makes a big difference within the village.
yeah.
I think, I like that. It was said diverse and,
Yeah,
Diverse housing mix.
you know,
yep, exactly. That's
diverse
what I'm trying to say.
housing mix between single family and multifamily, or so,
Yeah.
or, yeah. options as the market dictates.
Yeah, so encourage a diverse housing mix,
Yep.
housing type mix.
Cause that gives you some high-end housing, some low-end housing, some multifamily housing, some twin homes, some apartments, you know.
For all ages and incomes, maybe,
Sure. That holds in.
all ages and incomes. Great. Okay, objectives, increase owner occupied home ownership. So back to that 22 amendment, it said that this was completed, and it did. There was a huge jump in the ownership, but I didn't know if you wanted to remove it or keep it as a goal.
Do you want to say maintain?
Maintain,
Maintain,
Oh, yeah. Maintain a high owner occupied home ownership percentage.
I don't know that you need the percentage.
Yeah,
Where- I
just
mean,
home
just
ownership,
say-
I think would be good.
Just say maintain
Yeah.
owner occupied home ownership.
Yeah.
Okay. And protect property values.
How do we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that
not up
would
to
be-
us.
I
like,
was.
that's
It never was up to us.
2006 all the way, but I don't know.
Maybe, encourage, neat, property maintenance, something about, because that's one way to protect property values is to, enforce your, cleanup and maintenance of neighborhoods.
I don't think that drives your,
No.
your tax value, your market value, or anything like that per se.
Right.
I don't know, I'm having a hard time between all three of these words, goal, objectives, and policies. But if objectives is to direct the goal, or I don't know exactly how I think of each one of the things differently,
Same.
but, you know, if we're, and it's not this anymore, but if we're providing diverse housing, how is protecting property values a piece of providing diverse housing? Like, it doesn't even feel like it's an objective. of
Right,
that.
exactly.
So we maybe cross that one out.
It sounds like you're trying to protect or promote higher end housing, and I don't think that's the goal of this, but
Maybe we can even just delete that objective.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Policy 1 is help residents locate housing programs and agencies that will help them achieve home ownership. And we're already sort of doing that by providing this list of housing programs on page 19.
Mhm.
We. Or
Right,
do
you
you,
can change that to continue to, or add continue to help residents locate housing programs. You want it?
or continue to promote.
Maybe want to just provide information for them
Yeah.
rather than help.
Yeah.
yeah, because that's how we
Directly to the
do it.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, help gets,
We refer people,
sounds more direct,
we can refer people.
so we can provide information.
Yeah.
Great idea. So continue to provide information about housing programs and agencies.
Are we still looking to achieve homeownership though, or maintain? because we have such a high percentage of it.
Well, we want new people still looking.
Sure, that's true.
Or maybe just cross that part of that out.
Sure.
It would just say, continue to provide information to residents about housing programs and agencies, period.
Perfect.
Okay. That way all of them. Great.
Page
2 is encourage developers to provide a variety of housing sizes and styles to meet the needs of all residents.
That's great.
19. We haven't done a good job of that in the past.
Well,
You know, we had development out that the
you know,
Hilton's out there was all high end. And all the houses out over there are pretty much same basic style, you know, raised branches, car garage.
mhm. But, you know, having the different zoning districts
Yep.
allows for
The opportunity.
Yeah.
the opportunity for the diversification, you know, but, right, the recent has been pretty much the same. Now we've got the apartments coming in,
Yeah.
something new, and maybe they'll be looking at multifamily townhome style, seems to be getting more and more popular, you know, too. And the market dictates, and I think hopefully our zoning code will allow us what is being wanted by developers too. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I think that's everyone.
With the goal being for the village, not individual residents, in that policy, do we need to say meets the housing sizes and styles to meet the village's needs of all residents? Do we need to say something like, this is for the village, these are our goals for the village, not residents per se? Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say? These are our goals for the village. Do we need to speak to individual residents?
I see, so just delete the to meet the needs of all residents, maybe at the end.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, keeping it
Make
kind
that
of
less
generic.
personal, yeah.
Yeah.
Because there are times where the village might say, no, we can't, we don't want that type of development right now.
Right.
It's gonna maybe decrease some value of something nearby, or it's not in our overall comprehensive plan. So I think we still gotta keep our village thoughts and goals in mind.
Sure. Okay. So we'll cross out that end of that one. Goal 3 is address the aesthetics of new developments and housing. Do you currently have any design standards? Like in your-
Do you guys feel like that's been an issue even in the last 20 years?
Not really.
Developers coming in and trying to just say, we want cookie cutter houses? No.
Only driveways.
We already have that.
Driveways.
We already have that. The cookie cutter houses are there already.
48-foot driveways.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some with larger driveways than others.
Oh, gosh.
But if somebody came in, you know, and wasn't the current group that's putting up an apartment
Right.
building, and wanted to put up something less aesthetically pleasing, do we have anything to require them to? I don't know if we do.
Well, it's a PUD, we do a little bit, but
PUD we do, but
if it's a Pud, but
it's just
that may not be everywhere.
multi-family.
Yeah.
Well, you got your, eventually you've got your approval of the project, you know. If it goes through the board or goes through the planning commission, we can say yea or nay. Typically we get some prints and pictures of things.
Yeah,
We don't
but I
like
don't
this.
think you could say, you know, no to something that's all vinyl siding or something,
Right.
you know, a multiplex that's all, and vinyl siding has worked for a long time.
Sure.
And maybe that's not, well, maybe it is kind of,
So could you just say promote the aesthetics of new developments? Or something to that effect?
Do we even want this as a goal.
Right.
It doesn't make
If
sense.
you wanna keep
Right.
it.
Well, I mean, if we have other things in place that allow us to kind of police that,
Development
Right.
agreements.
Yeah, we do.
yeah,
Or
so
what way to
like,
do
is
it.
it really a goal per se?
Thing is, do you want something like the Meadows Town house building in Anna? Well,
That way too.
I don't know on what west
Oh,
side.
yeah.
I mean, I like it,
To me,
being
something
able
like
to
that
police it
guiding-
and control it.
To me, something like that would probably work out
Yeah.
a lot
But
better.
we do it through our developers agreement.
Correct, that's what I mean.
And our building
Is it
next
really
to
a
that.
goal?
But that's all, you know,
Not
we're
really.
all one style, we're all one color, we're all connected together.
Well, and maybe what you were about to say too, but I just thought of was, you know, this is, after this is all done, we really should take this and look at it and see if our zoning code and other village codes align with.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's coming after
That's
this.
coming after.
yeah.
That's gonna be the next thing.
And
to be
so,
updated.
you know, I guess, as a group, do we think aesthetics are important? And then we do, leave it in, and,
I mean, I think it is important.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it is too, you know.
Based on any
but-
kind of
And
development.
then, as we get further down the line, we're gonna be able to manage that from the aspect of if we have to do some different zoning regulations and such to, or developer agreement issues and such too, so.
right,
But I think that's encouraging to be that way because, you know, it's like we gotta have some input, I think, as to what developers are gonna do.
do you want tar paper shacks out there or not?
Well, maybe,
You
make
know.
the goal, consider design standards that would encourage aesthetics of new developments and housing.
That works.
So, it's because it's deliberate, it's just that you're putting it out there to consider design standards. And then,
clear, makes a more clear goal, I think.
yeah, and then that way, when you are updating your ordinances, this would be aligned with that.
This probably doesn't matter, but if we go back up to goal 1, policy 2, when you're talking about redevelopments, does that mean for goal 3, that also then has to be factored into any redevelopment or infiltration, or whatever you talked about? Does that need to be stated?
Yeah, that's a great point. I
Because
think
if you are gonna
consider
tear down a
design
building on Main Street and
standards.
put up something new, like,
Yeah.
you still wanna be able to control that redevelopment, right?
Oh, right.
Oh, so
The
you
aesthetics on it?
just, so that goal 3 wouldn't be just for new developments?
Correct.
Gotcha,
Since we have it in a policy before that saying redevelop.
Oh.
right,
then we
new,
have to-
But for new and redevelopment.
of,
Yeah.
or something.
Good call.
Okay. And then we're sort of from that goal, consider design standards that encourage aesthetics in new developments, redevelopment, and housing. I think we could actually move the word housing up and say housing, new housing developments and redevelopment,
Mhm.
because this is just about new housing developments and redevelopment. And then, when I was looking at the objectives below, we're wanting to, do you still wanna continue to discourage repetitive housing styles and colors?
I think
Okay,
I
If
think
we
so.
can.
then, well, and that's what
Yeah.
you would consider as the design standards, yeah, to actually make a statement in the ordinance. And encouraging developments with a variety of building footprints, colors, windows,
Mhm.
etc.
Yeah.
Isn't that the same thing?
Kind of the same thing.
You know,
I wonder if maybe instead, maybe those two objectives there could be combined and would
Yeah,
an
I think-
objective be for, well, I guess the whole thing is about aesthetics.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of quality of building materials, I don't know, if needs to be in there or not, but that to me ends up being the more aesthetic thing, even beyond color in the end. It lasts.
Yeah, you get siding in any color,
Yeah, yeah.
it's called paint.
The Barbie house, and that's-
You know, and we don't have to have multiple objectives potentially either, but
Want to add materials to that second one? Encourage developments with a variety of building footprints, colors, windows, materials.
no, I think that it would be a different one, and it would be, I don't know if it's encourage again, because we kind of doing it that way, but encourage,
Utilization of materials and stuff.
Quality
yeah,
materials.
encouragement of utilization of, quality, long-lasting materials.
Yeah.
You build a cheap house, you're gonna have to rebuild it sooner.
Mm. We don't wanna, I mean, we're still looking for a variety of housing, which, is variety of costs and variety of materials. So
Right,
we
to
don't
have
wanna
cheaper housing,
completely,
you gotta have
Yeah.
cheaper built homes.
right,
So,
right. It's a little, trying to get it from every angle. So I guess, is that something, or do we,
Yeah, it's good.
yeah,
I think it's okay to have it as a goal, that's why we make goals, right?
Right.
That's what
Yeah.
you wanna shoot for, what you're trying to achieve, does that mean it always happens?
Yeah,
right,
so encourage quality, long-lasting construction materials. And that's
Yeah.
Good.
And then that policy, I'm wondering if we should add continue to specify housing aesthetics in the developer's agreement. Because you
Mhm.
already,
Yeah.
you do that already.
Through the use of, through the development agreement.
I think instead of the, I would do, developers agreement and not capitalize, actually.
In a developer's agreement,
Yeah,
You can have multiple, it's not necessarily a,
right, there's not a specific developers agreement for the village, there's a new one for each development, so
Oh.
it's,
That's bad English grammar.
or specify housing aesthetics in developers agreements.
oh, there you go,
Is that what
in
I'm gonna say?
developers agreements. Thank you. Okay, anything else to add or correct? Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Nicole.
Thanks for your
Yeah, thank you.
patience and review.
Very productive, I
Yeah.
I'm sorry I was late, I actually had it on my calendar as 5:30, but I'm so ingrained that planning commission,
Thanks.
yeah.
We left at 5:30, that's all, right?
I left at 5:15, that's when I always leave from the Wallen meetings, 5:15.
Oh, takes you that long?
I got basketball practice.
Takes me just less than 30 minutes, and I always.
Thank you.
That's right, run hard, right? See you guys.
See ya.
Thank you. Welcome, Cece.
I will talk more next time.
It's okay.
I'm just warming up, I'm getting myself acclimated.
Oh, you have to, yeah, it's a different setting.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Village engineer. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Do you do the voter thing? Do you vote?
I don't,
Oh,
like at elections.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
We'll see you February 23rd.
People say you look for there.
Yeah.
so they got-
Well, you got a doppelganger on
Yeah,
the election voters.
sounds like a nice guy.
I haven't heard anything bad, so.
Eric, is there a little activity on that Walton Cedar Street there now?
Yeah,
That's what I thought, yeah, that's 7-Eleven still have that, or?
I already let Lance know, but I will not be.
I don't know, I would guess it's still the same, but the only, the contact that I've had, well, it's mostly Brand, because they're trying to figure out what condition the water mains
Okay.
are out there.
Yeah, there's not that much.
Okay, I know it's bad timing,
It's only been there for.
Yeah, there isn't
5, 6
that much.
years or
but, okay,
10 or
it's
so.
just, there's just
Well,
kind of bad
yeah,
timing,
it's-
but,
We're not really
I don't know.
much.
Is it
No,
that
I don't think it's
Okay.
been that long.
No,
but I'll be here for
But-
these
No, I
meetings.
know it hasn't been
Okay,
that long.
thank
we're
you.
basically saying,
Thanks, Mark. Have a good night.
you need
Yeah, you too,
to
Caleb.
test it like
Thanks.
you would if you did
Oh,
water.
yeah, right, yeah.
Absolutely.
And,
See, they did that, that's who had, where we're at, that's who had the development too. And that stuff was in there before too. And they had to go in and do, that's what they had to do, they had to go in and check all that before they even.
Yeah,
Before, when it was, plotted to bring in the village, that had to be done before it was brought into the village. They did
oh,
all the testing then,
okay.
at that time, I know.
And I know, back when, first started out there, so I've been here 10 years.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And Traxxas and I were talking about it, and eventually just like, you gotta test it out. Again,
Right,
it's
yeah,
like it's
exactly,
new.
right, yeah, yeah.
We had to,
yeah.
we went and dug up some curb stops too, and
Yeah, right.
checked those out,
Yeah.
but apparently they filled it up with water and, it just kept going and kept going. And,